This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Oh, excuse me. I'm just excited. Bitcoin's over 23,000. How you doing? All right. Anyway, we are ready to talk a little Canes. How you feeling, Manny? You feeling good?
Doing great, brother. Up here in the beautiful mountains in Georgia and Blue Ridge, enjoying the time with my family. So it's a good time for me.
You're going to be at the ACC meetings in a couple days?
No, I was told to make sure I took my vacation this week. So we have other reporters there, and I'll be catching up once practice starts, and I'll be around plenty.
It's not that anything earth-shattering is going to happen there anyways, so it's not like a big deal. By the way, did you see what Texas Tech is doing?
What is it, paying 100 players over 5 figures in NIL?
Bullshit, the entire team.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech's Name, Image, and Likeness Collective, a group of donors, boosters, and alumni who pool resources to offer local athletes NIL deals, reportedly slated to offer a gargantuan deal to its football players. Virtually every Red Raider will receive a deal for $25,000, according to the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. As the NIL activity, athletes will engage in charity and community service, while other collectives have been rumored to offer million-dollar deals to one particular athlete or another. The Texas Tech group, called the Matador Club, is spreading out $2.5 million across the team. So everyone on the team getting $25,000. How about that, bro?
That's great.
Yeah?
That's great. I mean, listen, you got to do a lot to get people to come to Lubbock, right? And to spend 4 years there. You got to do something to entice them.
Hey, Zach Thomas is pissed off somewhere right now. What are you doing, bro? You're pissing off poor Zach right now. Come on.
Have you been to Lubbock, Texas?
Right now.
Have you been to Lubbock, Texas?
I'm just showing some sympathy for Zach Thomas. Yeah, no, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. It's you gotta. But hey, I'm impressed that they're able to come up with the money too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's
listen. These boosters, they got a lot of money. They just got to pull it together and do things like this to keep the players happy. That's it.
Yeah, and these are write-offs for them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So in a way, everybody wins in a way, because it's going to be a tax break for you, is what you're doing by doing this as a business. So, but again, I brought it up because there's this misconception out there, and maybe because we just live in this bubble down here, and maybe people don't really read, which actually, let me rephrase that. Most people don't read, and they don't follow up on what else is going on in the rest of the world, and they kind of think it's John Ruiz in the wild, wild west, and nobody else is doing what Ruiz is doing, when in fact plenty of people are doing exactly what Ruiz is doing, and even at bigger levels like this at Texas Tech, where they're pooling people together to give every single player $25,000. That's the reason why I brought it up, Manny, because I think I'm sure you get it too. It's almost like they feel like Ruiz is the only bandit out there doing this kind of stuff.
No, I mean, he's far from it, and there's been lots of John Ruizes throughout the Southeastern Conference for many, many years. I mean, that's the reality of it. And here's the deal. I mean, these kids have all been getting some sort of financial assistance now for years. I mean, whether it's under the table or over. I mean, in terms of getting some of the profit sharing from these tickets. I mean, it's not what everybody wants it to be, right? These athletes want to get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they are getting more money than players back in the 80s and 90s got. College has evolved. So, this deal with Texas Tech, it's nice to see that Texas Tech is doing something for their kids, but look, Miami did it, 2 years ago or a year ago when NIL first started. The whole team got paid as well. It was $5,000, not $25,000. But so they were getting something out of this deal. So that's how much it's going to cost. $2.5 million. $3 million if you want to make it $30,000 or whatever, instead of $25,000. But all these schools are capable of it because all their boosters, instead of giving the school the money directly, they just form these collectives and pay these kids and give them some of the money while they're playing.
All right, so walk me through Sean O'Dare, the agent for Tyler Van Dyke. You have
Mm-hmm.
an article there of 10 questions with the Miami QB. So give the listeners, so that way they have
Yeah.
reason to subscribe to the Athletic. Give them
Mm-hmm.
one or two nuggets from that, so they can maybe go and check that article out themselves.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, we're officially a year into NIL, right? I mean, it was a year ago, July 1st, when De'Aaron King signed that first deal right away, and it's interesting to see how. I mean, our questions were really based on how much it's changed over the past year. What's gotten better, well, what stayed the same, what's gotten worse in terms of collectives, who's actually paying. You know, does everybody get paid, or do they make these deals and does the money not come through? You know, I think in Tyler Van Dyke's case, I mean, he's got close to 30 NIL deals now, and maybe he's not at $1 million yet, but he's making well into six figures. And you know, here's a kid who, at least I think, is spending his money wisely, investing it, using some of it to play golf. He's not doing anything silly with it. So, you know, in terms of just getting to know what these athletes go through in that process, that's a lot of the stuff that Sean and I talked about. You know, he of course works with Rosenhaus Sports, and we know Drew's represented hundreds of Hurricanes over the years, and he's hired Hurricanes to work with him. Robert Bailey, of course, is one of his agents, former Hurricane himself, and now Sean is working with him. So, you know, if you're interested in finding about Tyler Van Dyke and NIL, it's an article worthwhile. And you know, people ask me all the time, how much are these guys really making? Well, uh, I think it's, you know, guys like Tyler are making in the hundreds of thousands. I think most of the other players are making probably in the range of 20 to 50,000 in their NIL deals. It's not as serious as you know, it's not serious money in terms of, you know, what you would think athletes get paid nowadays, but it's certainly enough for them to pay for their parents to come visit and watch them, you know, play every game, to put them up in a hotel for a few weeks, you know, to basically help them, you know, progress and be a part of their kids' lives while they're in college. That's basically what the money's good for.
By the way, don't forget you can order at Caneswear. You can go online at caneswear.com. And if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. And folks, right now, Inter Miami taking on Barcelona tonight. Get on down there to 2511 South University Drive. Go get yourself some Inter Miami gear for the game tonight. Or we got Dolphin and Canes season right around the corner. They got anything and everything with the Canes logo. They've got Dolphins gear there. They've got Miami Heat gear, Florida Panthers, Miami Marlins. So go over there and check out Brett and all the great people and tell them that Big O sent you. All right. We have a listener that wants to ask you any of your observations from Miami's 7-on-7 tournament that you went to.
Well, Miami, I mean, I didn't go to any recent 7-on-7s. I don't know if he's talking about, you know, some of the
I think
previous
he's
ones
talking. I think he got it confused with the one you went to on the West
in
Coast, right?
Vegas. Yeah, they had one out in Bradenton for the top 50 players in the country, which had some of the Miami commitments, including Francis Mauigoa, the offensive tackle. I think the quarterback from USC, Malachi Nelson, he was there. That might be the 7-on-7 they're referring to, but it was up in Bradenton. I wasn't there for that. There were some other reporters that were out there for the 7-on-7. And I mean, look, there's a lot of chatter right now as far as commitments, a whole lot of recruiting talk. You know, coming off of that, Miami has a few players that they're in on that could be committing this week. So I'm sure that's probably where the question stems from. Jaden Bonsu, safety out of New Jersey. He wasn't there for that 7-on-7, but he's a guy that I think is going to commit to Miami sometime this week. It could be tomorrow, the 20th, or it could be on the weekend. Salinin, an offensive tackle that we've talked about quite a bit. You know, he was there at that 7-on-7 up in Bradenton IMG Academy. I heard last night from one of my well-plugged-in sources that he's probably going to Alabama now, not Miami. Miami's looks like they're going to end up with Samson Okunlola, the 5-star offensive tackle, and it's just one of those things where there's only so many 5 stars and 4 stars you can get at a certain position where a kid looks at it and says, okay, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go somewhere else because there's probably a better opportunity. So I think Olaus Leonard is probably headed to Alabama now. And then this weekend, you know, Miami, I think, is expecting to get Malik Bryant, the 4-star linebacker out of Orlando Jones. He's a top 50 national player. They just got the linebacker from Georgia here last week, the kid with the Miami connections, Popo Aguirre. And then Miami's also in the running for Jonell Aguero, who's a 5-star safety. I think Jonell was at the Bradenton 7-on-7 as well, the one at IMG Academy. So, look, man, we've talked about it ad nauseum. To me, the job Mario and NIL are doing together to help Miami get in on all these guys to really compete and have a chance to sign them instead of the Alabamas and the Georgias and the traditional powers. It's hats off to Miami putting things together, man, to get themselves in the game for a lot of these kids that are big time national players.
With you there. All right. So vacation. I'm not even going to ask you. You're not working on anything this week, right? They forced your ass to vacation, basically, is what it is.
Basically, man. I mean, I was gonna have another article on that overtime 7-on-7. I'm pushing that back a week because the guy from Overtime told me they're not ready to put out their videos yet. So I'm kind of trying to time it up with what they're doing from my time out in Vegas. And then there's the ACC Media Days, which they're going to send me, quotes and stuff. Some of the other writers that are there are going to tell me what Mario Cristobal and the players are saying. But I'm told not to write, to make sure I take vacation. And I guess I'll be back officially working a week from now, next Tuesday.
All right, there you go. And follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And when he does get back, then you can check out his work there at The Athletic. But meanwhile, you should subscribe anyways and catch everybody else's work all across the country while this slacker, takes a week off. Okay.
I think I will have another mailbag coming out later this week, though. So if you're interested in Hurricanes readers, there will be another mailbag. So there's one already up there. There's a second because I had like 60-something questions on there from subscribers. And so I try to get to as many of them as I can.
He does mailbags. I've got a bag of Star Atlas, a bag of Cardano, a bag of Polygon, a bag of Ethereum. We work different bags.
That's different bags. Yep.
Different kind of bags. Manny, as always, I appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up later on in the week.
All right, man. Take care. See you.
You got it. That's our Canes wear. Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're